Okay, I'm going to tell you guys how to set up a bibliography page, and I'm going to use my notes so I don't forget anything because it's really important. The first thing you're going to do is put a page break at the end of your report. So let's say you've written your report and you want your bibliography to be on the next page, but you don't want to just hit enter a bunch of times until it goes to the next page, because later you might go back and change things in your original report, and that's going to move around where your bibliography starts. So we don't want to do that. Instead, go to the end of your report and hit Control Enter. At least on computers that I'm used to using, that's how to put in a page break. And what it will do is it will start a brand new page, and then that page will just always be there. If you add more stuff into your former report up above or take things out, you will still have that page at the end of your report on its own page. It'll always be a new page there. If you don't have, like if you have an Apple or something, there might be a different way to put a page break in. I don't know how to do that, but you could probably find out on YouTube or just by Googling how to put a page break in a document. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do at the top of your document, let me write this down for you, is you're going to write the word bibliography. I like to bold print it, but you don't have to. This will be right after your page break, so it'll always be at the top of the last page of your paper, unless your bibliography gets long. But that's okay, it'll be in the right place. And then center that word, okay? And if you need help centering it, I'm gonna link you guys to a video that let's see, I think I can put it down in the description, another video that I have about how to set up your page for this, okay? Anyway, you're gonna center the word bibliography. And again, if you can't find my other video, or if it won't let me link you to it or something, you can Google how to center text. And it's just that easy. Okay, when you get done with that, you're going to be putting in your entries. You'll do that by using a hanging indent. And I know for sure I have a video about this. It's on my channel. If I cannot link it to the description box of this video, I just look on my channel, which is the same channel this video is going to be on, for hanging indent. Hanging indent, like hanging, and then the word indent, I-N-D-E-N-T. Okay, and that teaches you how to, the first line of text sticks out on the left side. It's the opposite of a regular indent. And then the following lines of that same paragraph will be sticking over to the right a little bit, like half an inch or so. Okay, normally when we indent, a regular indent, the top line is scooted in and all of the other lines line up with the edge. But a hanging indent is the opposite. The top line lines up with the edge and then the other lines are scooted over. Okay, so like if there was another line, it would be right there. Top line, subsequent line. Okay, so how do you know, like that is going to be one entry, and then this might be another entry. Okay, and then maybe it's a short one, and then this one could be your third entry. So you can tell where they are by 1, 2, 3. The ones sticking out to the left are where your entries begin. All right, now that you know how to set up your page, and I walk you through how to set up the hanging indent in the other video. How do you know what to write in those entries? Okay, so you need to collect information from all of your sources, whether it's a book or a magazine or a website or a journal or an encyclopedia. Here are the things you're going to need. If some of these pieces of information are missing, then just leave them out. But here's what you're going to need. You're going to need the name of your author. And when you list it, it'll be the last name first, like this. Smith Bob. Okay. You're going to need the name of the book, and that will be italicized. So I'm going to write it kind of slanted. Let's say he's writing about rocks, lava rocks. I don't know. All right. I wrote it slanted because this will be italicized. If you're handwriting it, you'll underline the names of books. If you're typing, you italicize them. Notice that the author's name has his last name first, comma, first name, period. And then the title of your book, italicized, and that's a period. It's hard to see. Okay. You also need, let's see, let me look at my little thing here. You also need the name of the publisher. You might need, if there's a version or an edition, like second edition or a translator, those things go in. Normally you're not going to have things like that, but I'm just going to write in parentheses, edition, illustrator if it's a child's book with lots of pictures. Editor maybe, version, those kind of things. Normally you're not going to have these things at all. Okay. Then you need publisher. The publisher gets a comma after it. Pretty much the author gets a period, the title gets a period, and pretty much everything after that gets a comma. And then you need the date. So if the date is just a year, just put the year. If it's a month and a day and a year or whatever, because it's a magazine, put what it says on the magazine. If it's a day and a month and a year, because it's a newspaper, put all of that in here where it says date, just whatever it says, that's what I put on the date. And then if this came from a website, you're going to put the URL. So it's the www stuff. Okay. And then the last thing, if it didn't, the very last thing gets a period no matter what it is. So if it didn't come from a website, if then your last thing will be the date, and that'll have a period. If you don't have a date, then the last thing will be your publisher, and that'll have a period. So whatever your last thing is, put it period. So period after author, period after title, period after the last thing. Everything else gets commas. Another thing you need to know is that sometimes instead of books, you'll have an article, and articles are inside of magazines. So then your article has a title and your magazine has a title. So now you have something with two titles. In that case, you would list the article first. And it would be in quotation marks. Then that's your real title. So it gets a period. And the title of the magazine gets a comma. Remember, the only things that get periods are the author and the title. So if you have an article in a magazine, your article goes after the author and it gets quotation marks because it's inside of something. Okay. Books are just books. So they're italicized. But if you have something within something else, it gets quotation marks, and the thing that it's in still gets italicized. So maybe now this is the name of a magazine and this is the name of the article. Okay. Or let's say this article came off of the internet. You would put the article in the quotation marks with the period, and the name of the website would go here. Okay. A lot of times when you have a website, the name of the website and the company publishing the website are the same. So National Geographic is published by National Geographic. If that's the case, you never have to write the same words twice. So you would just leave the publisher out because you already mentioned National Geographic whenever you wrote the name of the website down. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let me look at my notes again. I don't want to forget anything. If this seems confusing, you can get an MLA handbook that goes over all of this. I would recommend everybody own one. That's MLA handbook. You can get online and look up how to quote bibliographical information. You can go to easybib.com and enter the ISBN for your book, and it'll just pop out the MLA format or other formats, but MLA is usually the one you're going to use, the way to cite it. In your books, if you're level B or level C of IEW, there will be information in your books that give you lots of different variations of how to, like, if you have more than one author, or if you have a version of something like the Bible, or let me see, it shows you if there's no author listed, like for an encyclopedia article. Or let's see, it shows you how to do a website, a book with 2 authors or 3 authors. Just lots of little changes, okay? For the most part, you'll have this format. You'll have author, title of either an article or a book. If it's an article inside of a book or a magazine, then you'll list the book or the magazine, the magazine or the website right here, but the name of the article here. Again, if it's just a book, it'll look like that, and this will be a period instead of a comma. And then some little random information can go in here. Then you've got your publisher, your date, and if it's a website, you'll have your URL. Period after the last thing. For the most part, that's it, guys. I don't think it's really hard. It's just really intimidating if you've never done it before. Again, I'm going to put the page numbers in the description box where you can find this information inside your IEW textbook. Okay, and if you can't find it there, or if you're not using, maybe your IEW teacher is giving, well, I think it's going to be me. You guys, I'm only giving this to my students, so let me know if you have any questions. And just try it. Try it a few times. Try not to be overwhelmed. Just look at the formula on the pages in your book or on the video that I just posted and try it out. And then when you turn it into me, if you've done your very best job, maybe you made 1 or 2 mistakes, maybe you didn't. But if you do, then I can correct you from there. Okay? All right. Or another thing you could do is look at examples of how other people have done their, you can find those online, I'm sure. An example of MLA bibliography. And then you can get some ideas in case you don't have enough ideas. Okay, hopefully that's easy. Contact me if you guys need any help whatsoever. I'd be happy to make another video or to Zoom with you. All right, see you in class.